Welcome everyone. So we have another kind of fan favorite, I guess. Azumarill super cool. I'm not the biggest fan of the mon. That doesn't mean I made it any better or worse. It's well, let me rephrase. I definitely made it better, obviously, like everything else. What I'm trying to say is I didn't like make it not that much better. Is my point. Like I wasn't lazy with it. So Azumarill, there's a lot of really cool things to talk about here. So first and foremost, something that might jump out at people is, where's my sap sipper? Grr, I want my sap sipper. There is another specifically water fairy type with sap sipper. And all I will say as a hint to what it is that it didn't have sap sipper before. Sorry, it wasn't water fairy before. So there is a new water fairy type that has sap sipper. It didn't have sap sipper either before, so don't use that as like something to try to figure it out. So that's number one. Number two, yeah, sap sipper is cool. Yeah, being immune to grass is cool. That makes it only weak to electric, poison, and I think that's it with sap sipper, which is pretty solid. But there's another one that abuses it better, especially because sap sipper is obviously very gimmicky on Azumarill anyways, because like huge power is such a bigger boost that you're never going to really use it other than like when you're fighting a grass type. So it's just kind of eh. The new ability is a really good one. It is repurposed from Water Bubble, and that is called Liquid Veil. The only other Pokemon with it currently is Lickitung and Licky, but there will be more. Azumarill might be one of only few water types that will get it though, because most Pokemon I give this ability to are actually not water type because of how fucking powerful it is, and because I kind of like giving the ability as like a pseudo water type, like a pseudo third type kind of, to where it gives them a resistance to fire, makes them immune to burn, and that it doubles the popular water move. So not only is it giving you stab on a water move on a non-water Pokemon, but it also gives you essentially it's if Lickitung uses a water move, it's essentially it has adaptability. But in Azumarill's case, it's basically special huge power, but only for water moves, which might just sound worse than huge power until you look at the stats. And if you look at the stats here, they have base 85 special attack, and that might not sound that great, but for context, what's the water bottle Pokemon? A Rockwounded? Yeah. A Rockwounded has base, 70 attack? Yeah, 70 base attack, and we all know how powerful a Rockwounded is. So with 85 base special and water moves, it is more than worth the immense power that you gain. Like, it's worth losing out on stab and coverage. So yes, huge power is great because you're already very powerful. So if you do the math, I will show you. I have the calculations already done already, so just take my word for it. But 50 base attack with huge power is equal to base 149 attack, which is essentially base 150. So if you do the math out, it's basically 150 attack. So Azumarill essentially has roughly base 150 attack. So you're basically saying, would I rather have base 150 attack and be able to use, all my physical fairy moves, of which there are many more now, by the way, and then all my physical coverage moves, of which it has more, or would I rather have the immense nuking power of Liquid Veil with 85 base special, so a special attack rather. So if I show you guys here, I have it somewhere. Actually, let me just look up. I had a calc written out. I actually think I even still have it. Yeah, I do. Okay, great. I still have it. So let's just put base 50 attack and then huge power. Yep. So, and then we'll put water bubble on after. So liquidation, which is 85 base power. All right. Here I can even do two moves that are equal power. So I'll do hydro pump and I don't know, waterfall. All right. Let's just do hydro pump and waterfall. All right, those are both 120 base power. So that's equal. Those even base power. So huge power waterfall is still very powerful. So I just used Mew because it has 100 base. I have no investment in this Mew. So if you want, I could probably put max HP on the Mew, but I'm not going to bother. Pretend this is like an offensive Mew variant. Okay, it's not running any HP investment or defensive investment. So I just am using this because it's neutral and it's base 100 and everything. So your waterfall is doing 75%, 63 to 75, all right, which is a lot of damage. Obviously it's uninvested, but that's still very strong, right? It's 120 base power, very powerful move. But when you look at hydro pump, and let's say here I'm going to put liquid veil now, or in this case water bubble, 86 to 101. So why is this not? Oh yeah, because water bubble still works for physical. I was so confused. So you could actually run a mixed water bubble set if you wanted to. I don't know why you would. You would probably just want to run special moves. I guess if like here's an example of why you might want to run a mixed water bubble, I guess. But there's no reason actually because I mean you could. It's possible if you're using like level up moves that you can't reteach yet. You could totally do that, but otherwise, you're basically gonna be using special for water bubble or liquid veil rather, and then physical for that. Also, water bubble fits or liquid veil fits Azumarill pretty nicely. I mean, it's a water type. It's really all you need. Can I just get to the right Pokemon? Jesus, come on. It fits. I mean, their whole thing is like playing in water and using their water and swimming and whatever, and they store all that stuff. So I think it's pretty cool. God, it's so strong. It is really powerful stuff. And I would say the two abilities are very equal because yes, you have the sheer damage. So you can see right here, 86 to 101 for Hydro Pump, 63 to 75 for Waterfall with Liquid Veil, and then for Huge Power, it's the same damage on Waterfall. So you guys can see how much stronger Liquid Veil is. So it is a very substantial boost in power. The only downside being, of course, you can't use coverage moves very well. Although your 85 base special is not bad. That's not a bad stat. That's solid. So you can still use very strong special moves and get good damage off. And you can use your special coverage moves, of which you have solid special coverage as well with Shadow Ball, Psychic, Aura Sphere, Ice Beam, Icy Wind, all this other good stuff. And you also get access to special moves earlier than physical moves. So not water type, but you get access to special fairy moves rather earlier by level up on purpose. So for example, Fleur Cannon is level 52, while Hydro Cannon is level 62. And the physical ones like Waterfall is like 60. So you can see how much earlier Fleur Cannon is. So that makes special Liquid Veil Azumarill even better. Because you have a very powerful stab move right there. Same goes for Moonblast. Moonblast is much earlier. Moonblast is 100 base power, 95% accuracy. Meteor Mash is 95 base power, 95 accuracy, with a 25% chance to boost your attack by 1. Moonblast has the same special attack drop chances it used to have, the really good 30%. But the point is that Moonblast is earlier, all right? So you can really take advantage of Liquid Veil special sets. 85 isn't anything to ride home about. Anguish, sorry. 85 isn't anything to ride home about, obviously, but with Liquid Veil, it's immense, and then without Liquid Veil, it's solid. You'll still be doing damage on super effective moves, so it's still really solid. So that's the main benefit, and of course, you have infinite ability capsules in this hack, so you can just switch between these two abilities at will. And also, Liquid Veil gives you a 4 times resistance to fire, much like Thick Fat did, and it makes you immune to burn, which is not really that important, but it's nice just to have it, So yeah, great switch into fire type moves, and then of course, because you didn't have to worry about the burn from the additional effects, so it's just a very nice absorber of fire type moves with Liquid Veil sets. And then of course it has it has priority dual stab, so it has Aqua Jet and Bubble Shot, and then Pixie Dust and Fairy Blow. So Fairy Blow is fairy type physical coverage, Pixie Dust is special fairy type coverage. Sorry, coverage priority. Why did I say coverage? All 4 of these moves at the beginning are priority, is my point. So Bubble Shot, and Bubble Shot is 45 base power. Aqua Jet, I believe, is 50. I think I did 50. Yeah, because you only get liquidation versus like water moves have earlier. The reasons that these are all higher base power, by the way, is because of the options you get that are earlier. So for example, like Bubble Shot, you get Brine before level 20 or before the move tutor, but Aqua Jet you only get Dive until the move tutor, and that's later. So yeah, and it's also a 2-turn move, and then you get liquidation at the move tutor. But yeah, that's the point of why those moves are ordered the way they are, or why they are powered the way they are, if you were curious. But yeah, Bubble Shot is extremely powerful and very useful because of Liquid Veil and the priority, and you're pretty bulky and slow. However, other buffs that I give to Azumarill, so it does actually have a usable speed stat now. Why did I just go to it last twice? Come on. Let me delete that as well. Okay, but we'll just leave it like this. I was going to delete that mention of Azumarill and Wigglytuff Scott because it's going to bother me that you control F it. But those will all get deleted soon. Once I'm done with all these videos, I will be uploading those, or I'll be deleting those. So yeah, it's hot as hell, man. I gotta turn the heat down or something. It's hot as shit. Man, it's hot. I just noticed it. So you have really awesome stuff with Liquid Veil. Very powerful Water Stab. Hydro Pump is 120 base power, 90% accuracy. Surf is flat 95 base power with no drawbacks and also no additional effects. Torrential Pulse is 90% accurate, but 105 base power and has a 50% chance to boost all your stats, like Water Pulse does. And then you have Bubble Burst, which is the same power and accuracy as Torrential Pulse, but it always lowers speed by 1, which is really nice because you have a 65 base speed stat. So you can also use Scarf or Agility on Azumarill. and like become really quick that way. With Scarf Durability, 65 base speed is usable. So like Scarf, Liquid Veil, Huge Power Sets is nice for an option to have for specific boss fights. Obviously, you're going to be switching your items around and your abilities and sets around pretty frequently, so it's not like you're going to be using it every battle, but it's still nice to have the choice for that. What else is there? I'm trying to think. I think there is. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. You have access to a lot of really powerful physical moves as well, because Water and Fairy, especially Fairy, infamously lacked physical moves. So now there are tons of new ones. If you look up here and you look at the move sheet yourself, you can search all these up, but you can look like Fairy type moves. And here you go, you got all of these physical moves. So Azumarill has access to every single one of these physical fairy moves, and then most of these special fairy moves. But the physical ones are great. You have Hold Back, which will boost your attack and accuracy by 1, but it won't KO the opponent. But that's actually an asset in a lot of cases, because you can, for example, you have access to Charm and Befriend on Azumarill, correct? So you will be able to click Charm or Befriend on whatever's in front of you, or Tickle or whatever else it is, 6 times, or Tearful Look 6 times, or whatever, those two will be 2-3 times, but you understand the point. Tearful Look, all right, let's just say you're doing Tearful Look, click it 6 times, you're bulky, you have Aqua Ring for reliable recovery. Aqua Ring heals you by 1 HP, 1/2 of your HP. Aqua Ring is essentially a water type recover now. So that's really great for reliable healing on your Azumarill. Also, something I didn't mention yet is the bulk. So it's pretty bulky now. I decreased HP because HP is based more on size, but it still has a very, despite only being like 2.5 feet tall, I still kept a very good solid 85 base HP, because it's still fat. It's a fat fucking rabbit, so I still kept base 85. It's very good. And then it has 85, 85, 85, and it has 110 special defense as a buff, so it's much bulkier overall, despite losing HP. And then of course much stronger, especially with Liquid Veil sets, and also just for coverage and stuff. And then your special sets are great, so you can run like Assault Vest or something that's super viable. And like I was saying, you can debuff something to -6 offenses and heal up with Drain Punch or Aqua Ring, or Rest. Rest Talk if you want to do that instead. And the best thing about that is you can then click Hold Back 5 times and get +5 attack, and that will never knock them out. So if you were running Power Up Punch, which you also have, obviously, you also have Power Up Punch. However, you are losing out on a lot of important stuff that way, because you can accidentally kill the opponent and you won't be able to boost up anymore. It'll probably be like 2 or 3 Power Punches before you kill them, most likely, even if they resist, unless they were very resistant or very bulky. But in that case, that's situational. But Hold Back is great. You also get an accuracy boost, which is nice for stuff like Aqua Tail, which is 95% accuracy, 100 base power. So that's nice, and also sources for Stone Edge as well, which is 80 base power, always crits, and is 90% accurate. So that's cool. But yeah, Hold Back is nice. You have Meteor Mash, again, 95 base power, 95% accuracy. Hoodwink is reliable. It's basically just Fairy type Iron Head. That's what it is. It's Fairy type Iron Head. So it's nice to have that. And you have Comet Punch for earlier on. Hoodwink is relatively late, given how powerful Huge Power is. I wanted to make it a little bit later. Comet Punch is your physical fairy stab, in addition to 50 base power, priority fairy blow, and basically both of your physical priority is 50 base power, which is why I made Belly Drum so late, because Belly Drum with your dual stab Aqua Jet fairy blow is amazing. And you can run Sucker Punch, or you can run Superpower, or Takedown, or whatever other coverage you want to run. Stomping Tantrum, Bulldoze, whatever. Seismic Fist. So you have really good ground coverage with those moves, and fighting coverage with like Takedown, which is 110 base power and is recoil. You got like rock moves, Rock Slide and Rock Tomb, Ice Punch, Knock Off, Sucker Punch, all kinds of really good stuff right there. Grass not as physical, so that's nice as well for physical grass coverage to hit like bulky waters, which you struggle to damage otherwise, especially like if they have Water Absorb or Dry Skin or Storm Drain, which a lot of them will, especially like the water grounds. So it's nice to have grass not to smack those really hard. And of course, these are all TM, so you can always reteach these whenever you need, on an as-needed basis. So that's awesome. Special sets are very good also because you have Calm Mind and Bulk Up both physically and specially. Play Rough is a TM and it's 110. It's the same as Takedown, just Fairy type, and has a 50% chance to drop attack. So that's really nice. It's just 20% recoil. You can also run Shell Bell, which is buffed now to heal 20%. So Shell Bell heals the same amount of recoil that Play Rough and Takedown have. So if you run Play Rough and Takedown on your Azumarill, you'll be healing off all the recoil. So you just have 110 base power stab with good additional effects and no downside. Obviously, you don't have a water recoil move, but yeah. You get Surgeon Strikes at 68. You have Kerfuffle, which I fucking love that name. It's so funny. That is a Fairy type Thrash and Fairy type Outrage rather. So that comes from Thrash. It's Fairy type Outrage, which is very nice. At late game, I'm not a fan of those moves that lock you in, but of course, it's still very nice and powerful, and it is more powerful than Play Rough, and it's not recoil, so it is situationally a lot better. But the downside being it locks you in for 2 to 3 turns and confuses you. So it's you have to be careful when you click it for sure. You have other utility, like I said, with Tickle, Soak, Fake Tears, Tearful Look, Encore, Plainest, Baby Doll Eyes. Z-Hop gives you a +3 attack boost, so you can use that earlier than Belly Drum with Fairy Blow and Aqua Jet. That's really, really powerful as well. Or Agility, you can run Double Dance. That's whatever you need. You know, you have all types of customizability. Is that a word? I think it is. Sing is nice for sleeping. You can use that to get up a Belly Drum much safer, or a Z-Hop much safer, or Bulk Up or Calm Mind, whatever you need. That's all really nice stuff. Sing, all sleep moves last guaranteed 2 turns. So if you outspeed the opponent, you get 2 turns of sleep. If you are slower, if you outspeed the opponent, you get 1 turn of sleep. If you are slower than the opponent, you get 1 turn. Jesus, I'm misspeaking so badly. All right. If Azumarill outspeeds something a click Sing, you get 1 free turn to set up. If Azumarill is outsped by something and it clicks Sing after it gets attacked, then it gets 2 turns to set up. So, you know, you can, if you get, say you take a hit, right? And then you use Z Belly Drum or something, like you can then Aqua Ring the next turn, and then you can be full HP. And then you'll have, you know, your dual stab priority, whatever it is, to kill people after that. Kill people? Jesus, kill Pokemon. Take mons out, all right? I don't know why I said kill people. So yeah, you have really good stuff there. Honestly, not too much else to cover. You have tons of great coverage. You do have the pre-evolutions are important actually. So number one weird thing, Azumarill, nobody's gonna complain about this type change. For some reason, it was normal fairy. You could try to fucking justify copium and heal your copium, be like, oh, technically it's shut the hell up. All right, there's no reason it should have been normal type. It's stupid. There's no reason. I don't like when people try, like, just dude, Pokemon fans sometimes, like, they just inhale copium. They just come up with the most wild of headcanons to justify the bullshit that Game Freak throws at them. It's really funny. Yeah, no, this is not even like a type change for balancing. I mean, it is technically, but it's also just like, come on, it should have been water. So that's really nice. And then, of course, these stats look terrible at face value. Like, you know, 350 base stat total for a mid-evo that doesn't evolve until 35. Like, that's kind of mid. Or Azumarill stats, they're not good. But you have to remember how powerful the abilities are. So, these are the same stats. These are the same attacking stats that Jigglypuff and Igglybuff have. So Igglybuff and Jigglypuff, I believe it's 89 base and then 119 base equivalent. So Azumarill, and of course they have huge power as well. So Azumarill has essentially almost 90 base attack, and then Marill has basically 120 base attack, and that's at level 30. It's at level 18, so you'll have that for Hala. So that's really powerful. And of course, Liquid Veil is great as well for like Akala Island and other stuff on Melee, and of course, the rest of the game. It's amazing. So you'll be switching between these with the Infinite Ability Capsule. Very, very useful to have all these TMs to reteach your Pokemon, to reteach your Azumarill especially. It's very nice to have. And then, of course, your 35 base special attack on Azumarill is very potent. So 35 with a neutral nature at +2 is at 338, which is about what? Like 100 plus base special attack. So Azumarill essentially has the equivalent of like base 100 and something. I think it's like 105 maybe special attack ish with Liquid Veil. So that's incredible. Only on water type moves though, obviously. And then Marill has 55 base special attack, which is very powerful with Liquid Veil. That is 418, which is over 130 base, over 140 base. So actually, it's over 150 because Azumarill's attack is 50, and that's 150. So Marill's special attack with Liquid Veil, I mean, it's just doing a lot of damage. And they are pretty bulky. They're not the bulkiest things on the planet. Like, they will be taking hits, a lot of damage from strong attacks, especially on the physical side, which is a balancing choice because otherwise, like, they're overpowered because of how much damage they can deal. They're just very powerful, and I think these changes are very in the spirit of Azu. And again, if anybody's complaining about the Luminoid Sap Sipper, again, there is another water fairy type that abuses Sap Sipper better and also makes more sense for Sap Sipper. So stay tuned for that. We'll get to that one eventually. And these changes are much better because Sap Sipper would be extremely situational over huge power, like extremely, especially because you can always just use another Mon that will fight, that'll beat that grass type better anyway. So what's the point? You know, it's just not. People just see an ability that makes you immune to weakness and they just like pog at it, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's good, but it's not like as good as you're making it out to be. So it's still good. Don't get me wrong, like Sap Sipper is useful, but Liquid Veil is, I don't think anybody's going to be trying to argue that it's better than Liquid Veil. So yeah, you basically have special water spam Unga Bunga or physical Unga Bunga, but less powerful. So that's really the oversimplification way to put it. And of course, I already went into in depth about all these other moves. You also have like Amnesia, which is nice with Aqua Ring for recovery. Yeah, really not too much else to cover, honestly. It's very self-explanatory from this point on. So I hope you enjoyed this video too. And as for the evolution levels, that's just for balancing because Marill is plenty strong. Marill will be totally fine as a level 35, especially because by the mid-30s you'll have a Violite, so you can run a Violite Marill for Olivia and shit. You're big chilling. Marill is totally chilling on its own. Obviously, it's kind of not that fast, and it's physically not that bulky, but like that's the price you pay, and also you have good special defense. That's the price you pay for being extremely powerful, having basically 120 base attack, and then 160 base special attack with water moves. So it's really, really good. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you for listening. Hope I didn't miss anything. Appreciate your time. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that sub button. It would help with exposure. It would help the algorithm if you like and sub. I know it's annoying when YouTubers beg for that kind of stuff, but like it actually genuinely does help get exposure to my channel and it recommends more people my videos. So if you found this off of recommended and you liked it, or you're interested, then definitely subscribe or comment or whatever it is, and that will always help the algorithm. Yeah, thank you very much for listening, and feel free to check out my other videos.